Here's what's actually happening. There's no known galaxy that literally reverses time in the cosmic or theatrical sense. That idea currently lies within the realm of science fiction. But the closest real phenomenon, sounding mystical yet grounded in reality, is a breakthrough experiment in quantum physics. Researchers in Austria have managed to reverse time evolution within a quantum system. This was achieved with over 95% accuracy in restoring a quantum particle to a previous state, a technique that bears no relation to galaxies or cosmic-scale time reversal, though it may sound like magic. The night air was razor-thin and cold atop Cerro La Sombra, the mountain whose name meant shadow. Clouds pooled in the valleys below like slow-moving rivers of mist. Above, the stars burned with the kind of clarity you could almost hear, tiny pinpricks of soundless brilliance in a black so deep it felt endless. Inside the observatory's main dome, the air hummed faintly with electricity. A lattice of steel ribs arched overhead, holding in place the telescope's white shell like the skull of some sleeping giant. Dr. Elara Vance stood at the console, her gloved fingers brushing over the backlit keys. She had been at this station for 19 hours without rest, eyes raw from staring at shifting patterns of light and shadow on her monitors. The data was coming in from Deep Field Array 7, a new generation of optical radio hybrid telescopes scattered across 3 continents. Together they could peer billions of years into the past, gathering photons that had been traveling since before Earth's first oceans. She wasn't expecting anything unusual tonight, just routine spectrographic surveys of galaxies cataloged long ago. But then, something blinked. A signal spike, faint but persistent, appeared on her spectral analyzer. Not noise, not the erratic fizz of cosmic background interference, but a pattern. And it wasn't drifting redward, as all distant galaxies do. Instead, its light was shifting toward the blue. Elara froze. That was impossible. The red shift of the universe was a law as immutable as gravity. As space expands, light stretches, sliding toward the red end of the spectrum. Every object beyond our local group obeys it without exception. But this galaxy, whatever it was doing the opposite. Its light was compressing, shortening in wavelength, as though it were not receding from us but moving toward us through time itself. She zoomed in. The image resolved slowly, dust lanes coiling like frozen smoke, spiral arms gleaming with pale green stars. A turquoise halo shimmered faintly, pulsing in an irregular rhythm. The spectral lines didn't match any template. Hydrogen alpha was flipped. Oxygen 3 was inverted. It was as though the starlight was being played backward, like a song rewound on an old tape machine. She whispered under her breath, "That's not possible." Her mind raced. Could it be gravitational lensing, a wormhole mirage, or some bizarre instrumental error? She cross-checked with 2 other arrays, one in the Atacama Desert, one in Antarctica. Both confirmed the same readings. The anomaly wasn't local. It was real. Outside, the wind moaned across the dome's steel braces, a sound like breath drawn inward. The hairs on the back of her neck rose. She thought of the arrow of time, the relentless march from past to future, and how this galaxy seemed to snap that arrow in two. What if this wasn't just a trick of light? What if inside that shimmering spiral, time itself was flowing backward? Elara leaned closer to the screen, her heart hammering. Somewhere, 13 billion light-years away, an entire galaxy might be rewinding its own history. Undoing stars, unforming planets, pulling civilizations back into the cradle of nothingness. The console beeped once, then again. The pattern was strengthening. And in that moment, a thought pierced her exhaustion, cold and absolute. If time could reverse there, could it reverse here? The anomaly refused to fade. If anything, its signal sharpened, threads of data knitting together into a steady, deliberate pulse. Ilara sat rigid at the console, the glow from her monitor painting her face in pale blue. She felt as if she were watching something alive, something aware that it was being observed. She initiated a full-spectrum breakdown. The system's algorithms processed the incoming photons through layers of analysis. Optical imaging, infrared mapping, ultraviolet scatter. At each step, the result was the same. Spectral lines flipped like mirror images, energy curves curling back on themselves. It was like watching a river run uphill. Her training told her to think first of natural explanations. Black holes could distort light, twist space, even slow time, but they couldn't reverse its flow. Not across an entire galactic structure. Wormholes were theoretical at best, and yet here, in front of her, was something that mocked the rules she'd trusted her entire career. Ilara tapped into the historical archives. Deep field observations from 20 years ago had cataloged the coordinates. Back then, the galaxy was unremarkable, logged as NGC 7R13. But comparing that archival data to her live feed revealed the impossible. Stars that had appeared as dying red giants were now bright blue-white, as though they'd regressed to a younger state. Nebulae that had been faint wisps were now dense clouds, brimming with the light of newborn suns. Even supernova remnants were gone, their explosions seemingly erased. She zoomed further, her breath caught. A planetary system on the spiral's outer arm was visibly restructuring. Darkened, scarred surfaces grew luminous again, as if scars were smoothing, continents remolding themselves. Cloud systems unwound and spun in the opposite direction. The hairs on her arms prickled. Somewhere, perhaps, a civilization might be experiencing its own history in reverse. Wars unfought, cities unbuilt, lives unlived. Would their memories vanish as time rewound? Or would they be aware of their undoing, trapped in the dissonance of a reality folding in on itself? A low rumble rolled through the dome as a gust of wind shook the structure. The noise made her glance at the clock, 2:37 a.m. local time, but the clock's second hand ticked strangely, a faint double jerk forward, then back, before resuming its normal rhythm. She blinked hard. Was it her imagination, or was the anomaly interfering with her instruments in real time? Pulling off her gloves, she keyed in a multi-array sync, pinging observatories in Hawaii, South Africa, and Spain. Each confirmed the same readings. The light curve was inverted, its Doppler shift climbing steadily toward the blue. No known cosmological model could explain it. The numbers were not just wrong, they were impossible. Her console chimed again, this time with a low, thrumming note. An alert flashed. Signal strength, 213% above projection. Temporal signature, anomalous. Ilara leaned in, her pulse quickening. Somewhere in that turquoise whirl, the universe itself was folding the fabric of time back on its loom. She whispered to the empty dome, "What are you trying to show me?"